Hey everyone, and welcome back to Recap Worlds. Today we are taking a road trip through the incredible first season of Peacock's breakout hit, Poker Face. If you haven't seen it, stop right now, go watch it, then come back, because we are diving deep, episode by episode, into every single case Charlie Cale cracked. And yes, there will be spoilers. Let's get into it. All right, so first up, let's talk about our hero, Charlie Cale, played by the absolutely magnetic Natasha Lyonne. Seriously, if you don't already love her, you will after this show. Charlie has this thing. It's not a superpower, but she just knows when people are lying. Her brain kind of tingles, her gut screams, and she just hears it. Bullshit. Now, this gift, or curse depending on how you look at it, made her a legendary pro poker player. But it also got her into a whole heap of trouble with a very dangerous casino owner, Sterling Sr. So she's on the lam, driving her trusty, beat-up Plymouth Barracuda across America, trying to stay off the grid. The problem? Charlie's got a strong moral compass. She just can't ignore it when someone's been murdered and her BS detector is going off the charts. What makes Poker Face so refreshing and utterly binge-worthy is its unique structure. This isn't your typical Whodunnit where we're trying to guess the killer. Oh no. This is a howcatchem. All right, let's kick off our episode-by-episode journey with the explosive premiere, Dead Man's Hand. This is where we first meet Charlie just trying to keep her head down as a pit boss at Sterling Sr.'s casino. Everything changes when her sweet friend and co-worker Natalie uncovers a truly horrific secret about Sterling Sr.'s entitled son, Sterling Jr., and his bodyguard, Cliff. Before Natalie can reveal what she knows, Sterling Jr. and Cliff brutally murder her, staging it to look like a suicide. But Charlie, devastated by the loss and with her gut screaming bullshit every time Sterling Jr. or Cliff utter a word about it, knows deep down it's a lie. She can't let it go. Using her insider knowledge of the casino and her sharp poker instincts, she cleverly corners Sterling Jr. at the poker table, exposing his tells and his undeniable involvement. This episode sets the stakes incredibly high, cementing Charlie's strong moral compass and kicking off the season-long thrilling chase with Cliff. It's a perfect, nail-biting introduction to her world. Fresh off the run, Charlie lands a seemingly simple job at a roadside grill in the night shift. She quickly befriends Mandy, a young, ambitious trucker saving every penny for her own rig. The grill itself is run by two estranged brothers, Jed and Taffy, who own rival trucking companies. And there's clearly no love lost between them. Desperate for cash, Jed tries to sabotage his brother Taffy's truck, but in a tragic twist of fate, Mandy unknowingly takes the rigged vehicle and dies in the crash instead. Jed then meticulously covers his tracks, making it look like Mandy was responsible for the accident. Charlie, genuinely heartbroken by Mandy's death, immediately senses that Jed's grief and his whole story just don't sit right. She starts picking up on subtle details about the truck and Jed's peculiar behavior, slowly unraveling his desperate scheme. This episode really highlights Charlie's innate goodness and how she connects with ordinary people, showcasing her knack for uncovering the truth, even in the most unassuming small-town settings. Charlie finds herself in Texas, where a stray dog she's with crashes a BBQ joint, so Charlie takes a job there and connects with George Boyle, the head chef. Charlie shows George the film Okja, which inspires him to sell his share of the business. Unable to afford buying him out, Taffy records a radio segment, then fakes it going live while she suffocates George in his trailer with grill smoke, beating the dog when it tries to stop her. Later, Charlie finds the dog and realizes the wood it was beaten with matches the wood used to kill George, and only George used it. Confirming Taffy had time to kill him during the broadcast, Charlie confronts George's wife, Mandy, realizing she's an accomplice. Charlie then has Austin, a station employee, impersonate Taffy on the phone to trick Mandy into a confession. Mandy falls for it, selling out Taffy to the police. Austin plays Mandy's recorded call live on air for the cops, leading to both Taffy and Mandy's arrest. Charlie leaves the dog with Austin, and moves on. From folk rock to headbanging heavy metal, Charlie continues her journey as a roadie for a 90s one-hit wonder band, DDA, Damascus Death Adders, in Restin' Metal. The band is attempting a comeback, but their drummer Keith is becoming increasingly unreliable and is nursing a concussion. The lead singer, Al, absolutely desperate for the band's success and tired of Keith's erratic behavior, murders him by staging a drug overdose. Charlie, being part of the crew, observes the band's dysfunctional inner dynamics and quickly picks up on Al's chillingly calculated composure after Keith's death. She starts noticing tiny, strange details that just don't add up, leading her to expose the truth in a very public way. This heavy metal backdrop provides a fun, quirky setting for a murder mystery, and it's a great example of Charlie using her observational skills to see right through someone's carefully crafted performance of innocence. Charlie takes a job at a retirement community and quickly befriends two residents, Joyce Harris and Irene Smothers. These two ex-felons spill the beans on their past as cult members and lovers of their leader, Gabriel, until a police raid sent them to prison. Shockingly, they recognize a new resident as Gabriel himself, who then begs their forgiveness, admitting he sold the cult out. Things take a dark turn when Irene sneaks into Gabriel's room and poisons him. She then swaps his wearable heart monitor and has Joyce tease her to make it look like Gabriel died of cardiac arrest. Talk about dedication to a cover-up. At Gabriel's funeral, Charlie bumps into his nephew, Luca Clark, who reveals he's actually an FBI agent. He explains that Irene and Joyce weren't arrested for cult activities, but for trying to bomb a model UN meeting. Yikes. Charlie, now with the full picture, confronts them, pointing out that Gabriel's heart rate didn't change even when staff tried to defibrillate him. A huge clue. They try to kill Charlie, but she's one step ahead. She teases herself while wearing a heart monitor, alerting the waiting FBI. Just for good measure, when Charlie later starts a golf cart, it explodes, but she narrowly avoids it. As Joyce and Irene are finally arrested, Charlie gives them the middle finger. Charlie then finds herself tangled in the dramatic world of community theater in Exit Stage Death. Here, two former 90s sitcom stars, Kathleen and Michael, are staging a comeback play together, and they have a very public, very theatrical rivalry. Things get complicated when Michael's ex-wife, Ava, a successful young actress, threatens to expose their past manipulative behavior, which would absolutely ruin their big return. So Kathleen and Michael conspire to murder Ava during a dress rehearsal. They create an incredibly intricate accident involving a prop gun and perfectly timed stage effects. Charlie, working backstage, witnesses the entire accidental shooting unfold and immediately smells a rat with their overly dramatic performances of grief. This episode is pure fun, playing brilliantly with the theatricality of actors and the idea of performing innocence. The complexity of the murder plot is truly impressive, and Charlie's method of recreating the crime to expose them is a masterclass in classic detective work. We meet Keith Owens, an aging Tennessee racer who's just lost to hotshot newcomer Davis McDowell. Keith's got a problem. His hands shake when he races, and even though he'd planned on retiring, that loss ignites a fiery desire to win one more race. His daughter, Katie, who was expecting to take over the racing legacy, is furious she now has to wait. So she challenges Davis to a go-kart showdown. He's so mad he goes and vandalizes the Owens mailbox. That's when Keith decides to retaliate, sabotaging Davis's car. But here's the twist. Davis sees him. So Davis takes it a step further, sabotaging the car even more. At a practice session, he lets Katie drive his now heavily tampered car, and it crashes, putting her in a coma. Davis, who's somehow befriended Charlie and knows about her uncanny lie-detecting abilities, tries to shift the blame to Keith. When confronted, Keith publicly confesses his guilt, thinking he's responsible for Katie's accident. But Charlie, ever vigilant, spots Davis's lie about the crash being an accident. She then gets caught poking around his garage. Davis, realizing Charlie's onto him, refuses to answer her questions and tries to run her off the road. Talk about escalating. At his next race, Charlie confronts him again. She tells him Katie woke up and is going to race him once she recovers. As Charlie walks away, Davis's hands start to shake, a clear sign that Charlie's gotten under his skin. We kick off with Max, the founder of a VFX company called Lamb, confronting his co-founder, Laura. He's found something incriminating in some old footage, so what does Laura do? She poisons him. Yikes! Charlie then enters the scene befriending the third co-founder, Arthur Lipton, and becoming his assistant. Arthur's carrying a heavy secret. He blames himself for the death of actress Lily Albert, who drowned on the set of the first film he directed. Laura, meanwhile, asks Arthur for a bust of Max's head, pretending it's for grieving. In reality, she uses it to bypass the facial recognition on Max's laptop and delete a crucial piece of footage from the archives. But Arthur has a physical copy, which he watches it and has his own aha moment. Laura was actually responsible for Lily's death. When confronted, he burns the reel, but secretly keeps the incriminating frames. However, he barely makes it home before he's also poisoned and dies. Charlie, sensing something's off, quickly realizes Laura's lying about both Max and Arthur's deaths. Laura, ever the schemer, tries to collect Arthur's belongings for a memorial exhibit at Lamb's offices, but she misses the hidden footage. Charlie naturally retrieves it. At the memorial opening, as Laura eulogizes Arthur and Max, Charlie plays the damning footage on the big screen behind her for everyone to see. Exposed, Laura flees, starts seeing visions of Arthur and Max, and in a final dramatic turn follows a hallucination of Max right over a balcony to her death. Our favorite lie detector, Charlie, is stranded and picks up a kleptomaniac drifter named Morty Bernstein. But then she crashes her car, avoiding a deer. When Morty doesn't return with a tow truck, Charlie tries to flag down help and gets hit by Trey Nelson, who's violating his house arrest. He takes her to his estranged friend, Jimmy Silva's motel, and believe it or not, they help him bury her outside. But Charlie wakes up with a broken leg and manages to crawl back to the motel just as Morty shows up in her car. Now, a blizzard traps all four of them in the motel. Morty, ever observant, realizes Charlie found a bone outside and wonders if it belongs to Chloe Jones, a local woman who vanished a decade ago. Morty finds Chloe's remains right where Charlie was buried and agrees to keep quiet in exchange for Trey's car. Trey, being Trey, beats her and pushes the car with Morty inside off a cliff. Jimmy then tries to drug Charlie with a sedative, but she figures out he's lying about the pills being painkillers. Instead, she slips them into Trey's drink. Charlie convinces Jimmy that Trey killed Chloe. Trey then shoots Jimmy, stabs Charlie, and buries them both with Chloe's remains. Trey makes it home just in time for his parole officer, only to realize Charlie swiped his ankle monitor during their struggle. In the hospital, Charlie learns that Trey was arrested and Morty was mistaken for her. She figures the world will think she's dead, but of course, Cliff is waiting for her outside the hospital. And finally, the season culminates with the hook, bringing the overarching plot, Charlie's escape from Sterling Sr., back into sharp focus. Cliff, Sterling Sr.'s relentless enforcer, finally manages to catch up to Charlie. But in a truly unexpected twist, before he can do anything, he suffers a serious injury. Seeing this as an opening, Charlie decides to try and turn herself in to the FBI, hoping they'll protect her from Sterling Sr. This episode isn't about solving a new murder, it's a tense cat-and-mouse game. Sterling Sr., not one to be deterred, sends his new, even more dangerous enforcer, Beatrix Hasp, to deal with Charlie. Charlie has to use all her wits and her lie-detecting skills not to solve a new crime, but to try and negotiate her freedom. It's a thrilling, high-tension episode that significantly raises the stakes, confirming the ruthless reach of Sterling Sr. The final scene leaves us on a perfect cliffhanger, setting the stage for Charlie's next chapter on the run. So that's season 1 of Poker Face in a nutshell. This show is just a masterclass in modern mystery. It's got that classic Columbo feel, but with a fresh, contemporary vibe that feels totally new. Every single episode is like a perfect little standalone film. What was your absolute favorite episode of season 1? Did any of Charlie's deductions totally blow your mind, or did you just love the guest stars? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. And hey, if you had fun watching this recap, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Recap World for more awesome TV show/movie discussions and breakdowns, and ring that notification bell so you never miss our next video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.